What's up, nerds? Good morning. Welcome. It is 7:55 in the morning on this, the 8th day of November 2023. Here at Site B, it is bright and sunny, but a little surprisingly chilly, which is a good thing. It is Wednesday, which means it's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game crowdfunding projects that are coming to an end. And whether any of these I feel are worth your time or not. Remember, again, this is just my personal opinion. You can completely disagree with me and decide, yes, this is something I do want to back. So if there's an independent or small press thing that you want to support, this might be a chance to jump on that bandwagon. And the very first one we have, of course, is from our friend Monty Cook, who I guess felt he didn't have enough money, so he redid the Invisible Sun Return of the Black Cube. The most popular thing is $45, which gets you the PDF and print version of the source book, but you don't get, I guess, all the other toys and whistles and things like that. Black Sun, I'm sure you remember Invisible Sun, the Black Cube was the $200 tabletop role-playing game weird thing that Monty Cook came out a few years ago with. There was only like 30, I think, or it was very limited run. And then, people were like, I'm not going to pay $200 for a game and blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of disappeared. And now he's decided to re-release it again. It's slightly cheaper, but still, it's Monty Cook and it's a very obscure and it's its whole little thing. Some people swear by it. There's a couple of people who told me to, I didn't know what the F I was talking about. This is an amazing game. It's the only thing they play now, and it was totally worth the money, and all the props and the toys are really cool. And I was like, okay. I mean, as always, this is just my opinion, and you don't have to listen to me. If you think the 30-pound Black Cube role-playing whatever Invisible Sun is worth your hard-earned ducats, don't listen to me. Invest in it. Some people swear by it. I don't. That's just me. I'm an idiot. From Reaper Miniatures, we have Dungeon Dwellers role-playing game. It's $99 is the most popular pledge. It gets you the print version of all the books, plus dikes, plus tokens, and most importantly, miniatures. So Dungeon Dwellers role-playing game is a 128-page player's guide, 128 game master's vault, and 128 Desians of the dungeon. It's an OSR rule system that is compatible with BX and 5e. And it comes with miniatures. Who would ever think that Reaper would do a role-playing game that also had its own line of miniatures? And it allows Reaper to make more miniatures and then design them with the stats in their system. So now if you go and find the miniature specifically for Dungeon Dwellers, you will also find the stat block for the monster statted out for Dungeon Dwellers, which means it would also be statted out for 5e more or less and BX more or less, You'd know it's armor class and hit points and whether. Plus, it comes with a free PDF adventure. So, yeah, if you want to look at Reaper's take on the OSR OGL darker dungeon, Denzian dungeon thing and get a whole bunch of figures and know that there's going to be more figures, cool. Why not? I mean, we love Reaper, right? From Nightfall Games by Claudia Christian. If that name sounds familiar, Claudia Christian played our favorite character, Captain Ivanova on Babylon 5. Repeat after me. Ivanova is always right. Ivanova is God. Yeah, man, she just made that. I mean, I loved Ivanova back then. And rewatching Babylon 5 recently, I was like, yeah, she's still the best character. So she wrote a short story called Musketeers versus Cthulhu in the Court of King Louis. And she wrote it with a gentleman named Chris McCauley, who also works for Nightfall Games. And they just done the Terminator RPG. And they're like, yeah, let's do a Call of Cthulhu engine adaptation of your short story collection. So you have the three Musketeers in the Court of King Louis in, Musketeer of Renaissance France fighting Cthulhu, as well as all the normal things the Musketeers dealt with, like intrigue and, illegal trade and people trying to bring down King Louis and romance and courtly romance and, D'Artagnan and all that Alexander Dumas awesomeness. And then you just add Cthulhu. So this just sounds fun. And it's only $25. From Legendary Games, we have some more love for 5e. This is called Temples and Tyrants. It's 5e Paladins of Pure Good and Utter Evil. $10 is the most popular pledge. Gets you the PDF of the book. And it's 80 pages of new things to upgrade your Paladins or bad guy Paladins in D&D. So If you think your 5e paladins aren't 5e enough and you don't have enough options, here's some more. From Light Raiders, we have Light Raiders, the RPG Adventure Bible System. This is $59 for the box set and the decks of cards. It's a tabletop role-playing game, sort of based kind of on the scripture, or at least the fantasy of the scripture, where the characters recite verses from the Bibles to trigger in-game effects. You're caged in different scenarios. Some will be social encounters. Some will be battles. And then you get to review it at the end by doing Bible study as part of the group. So, yeah, if you're looking for a Bible-inspired tabletop role-playing game, here we go. This is not the first time a Bible-inspired tabletop role-playing game has been done. They have been tried before, usually met with various levels of either, oh, yeah, cool, or cringe. Yeah, so it's out there. From Black Lantern Productions, we have Mansters, the role-playing game. $58 is the most popular pledge. Gets you the print version, box set, PDF, dice, and cards. It's you basically role-play the universal monsters. You know, Dracula, Frankenstein, the werewolf, the Gill Man, the Invisible Man, the Phantom, the Mummy. But now you have to rescue mankind instead of doom it. And it's a game of social satire designed for laughs using an original D6 engine where you play fearsome creatures that's fighting evil corporation and monster hunters. It's heavy on the punk of monster punk. There's no such fucking thing of monster punk, but yeah, the universal monsters going to combat threats to the world, which sounds like a cool idea, actually. Monster Squad, Sergeant Rock and the Howling Commandos, that kind of thing. But it's built to try and be like a joke, and I don't know, intentionally funny games don't work, with maybe the exception of Paranoia. But yeah, if you try and make your game funny and force the comedy, it's not going to happen. You should have just written it as it was and see what happened. There's kind of a lighthearted take on the beloved Universal monsters and sort of their, iconic position in our culture and, what they do in their, real lives and how they have to fight the evil that's worse than them. Moving on, from our friend Ed over at Shades of Vengeance, who we spoke to yesterday, the Kickstarter for Era Dragonsong, his high fantasy tabletop role-playing game, is coming to an end. $25 is the most popular pledge. Gets you the PDF and the print version of the book, plus adventures, characters, and a city sky. We had Ed on for about an hour yesterday, so there's a link down below if you want to see my interview with Ed as he talks about Era with us and all the awesome things about his game. And it sounds good on paper. So yeah, I'm hoping we get a chance to take a look at it. And finally, from Ian Publishing, we have Vault of the Splintered Soul, a 5e Dungeons & Dragons mega dungeon for 5e and all the permutations of 5e, including Tales of the Valiant and Level Up 5 Fleet. It's a 14-floor, 100-page book of mega dungeon goodness starting at level 6 and go through level 10. You go through a dungeon and there's stuff. And hopefully enough reasons to keep going to the mega dungeon. Because the only thing, the main flaw of any mega dungeon is the grinding. It eventually just breaks down to a slog. And if you're not going to give me a reason to keep going back, I don't know if I really want to go back unless it's unbelievably cool. But again, I always, the few times I've had a successful mega dungeon campaign, it was always, well, I'm just running a series of adventures that the dungeon just happens to be one of the main locations, and it just happens to be a very large dungeon, but I'm not running a mega dungeon campaign. I'm just using the mega dungeon in place of lots of little dungeons. And it sort of worked out for the few weeks that I ran it. It's less, it seemed less clunky when I just, broke it up into small little parts of them doing whatever this small little task was, and then coming back and then going back. And I don't even think they realized it was the same place to the second to last game. So that kind of worked. So there's a lot of potential ones out here this week. Obviously, I'm supporting this one since Ed was kind enough to reach out to us. This one sounds fun. if you have the money, yeah, $90 and you get some figures. And I don't know what to make about Invisible Sun. It's just I don't know. But people reached out to me and said I didn't know what I was talking about. It's a great game. So don't, as usual, don't listen to me. Make up your own mind and decide whether you want to support these crowdfunders or not. These are all available through your Kickstarter, crowdfunding, Itch.io, GoFund, GameFound, BackerLit site of choice. If you do pick any of them up, let me know what you think of them. Till next time, I have been your guide, the OG GM. If you appreciate my daily nonsense, please take a moment to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, help me hit 2,000 subs by the end of the year. We can still do it. I only need 400 of you guys, so come on. Join me. Shall you?